Hello everyone, this is Dave Johnson, and today I'm not making a video about anything spiritual or anything like that. This is about a customer complaint. It is about the airline Jetstar, and I'm just going to tell you in advance, these people will rip you off, and I'm just going to explain to you how they ripped me off, right? So you know how they recommend, oh, come 1 hour early, come half hour early, or something like that. Well, that's what I did. I get there and, I'm 30 minutes early and, it's Sydney Airport, piece of cake. I kind of stroll up to the kiosk because it's Jetstar and it's, I don't have any baggage, just a piece of cake. Well, it is 29 minutes before the flight is taking off. And guess what? They didn't give me a ticket. So they turned to me and said, well, since you're 1 minute late, you forfeit your ticket. Now, I want you to imagine how livid I am. And I showed them this piece of paper right here, which has my ticket information on it. Let me read to you what it says. Please don't be late. We can't wait. We are committed to keeping on schedule, and we know you don't want to miss your flight. Please make sure you arrive at the airport with plenty of time to check in and pass through security. If you're not at the boarding gate on time, you won't be able to board the flight, and you may lose your fare in full. Now I want you to notice that none of these things are correct. There's plenty of time for me to walk there. I didn't miss my flight. Obviously, miss your flight, then you have to, pay for it. That's no surprise. We've all flown planes before. We know how that works. But this is just a strictly arbitrary detail that they put on there so they can rip you off. You make sure that, that it would have been plenty of time for me. All I had to do was give me the ticket. I could have walked through, and if I didn't, it's on me. But that gives them a way to force you to buy a new ticket. And that's exactly what I got when I took this message back to the gate. They're, what are you talking about? Oh, you missed it. Too bad. Now, I got there with plenty of time. If I had known it was 30 minutes, I could have run to, put my thing in the machine. As a matter of fact, if the first machine had worked, I would have been on time. But it didn't, right? And it took me a minute to figure that out. As a matter of fact, they have this thing on the phone where you can go check in, which I did, but their app did not work, so I couldn't check in that way anyway. So my advice to you is do not fly this airline Jetstar. I've been on the phone with them for now an hour trying to get them to change this policy because it's not just about me, it's about everyone. And I'd really like to inspire a bunch of people to make videos. When you get really bad customer service, make these videos. Eventually somebody, like me is going to see it and realize, oh my God, I don't want to try that airline anymore. Or at least now I know I got to be there and push my little thing through the kiosk, get 30 minutes beforehand, or they're going to, take my ticket away. This is a ticket I paid for. Guys, imagine if I were in, St. Petersburg and I had a family of 6. Every single one of us, because the taxi driver gets stuck in the snow, whatever it is, all of us, we would have to buy new tickets for everyone. Well, you imagine you could be in that space and not even have the money in your bank account. So what would you do? You just don't leave? Just stay in the foreign country until they, kick you out by train? I don't know what you're supposed to do. But again, my advice, do not use this airline. It looks really cheap, but they will always trick you and find a way. And knowing that if you got a cheap flight, that's because they ripped off somebody else. Right? Do not fly Jetstar. I'll tell you, by the way, that I went right next door to Tiger Air, and they immediately hooked me up with a reasonable ticket, and, there was only about 10, 12 minutes between that moment and the plane taking off. Had no problem arriving, had no problem getting there. So if you're given the choice, Tiger Air, not Jetstar. Thanks for watching.